selecting my record and opening up the databases for the new international compliance programs. Now you would go ahead and open up, I'll do it through what you would see. So you would do students.tgsl.edu. You'll see students.tgsl.edu appear on your screen. Then you go to library. You scroll down to research databases. I'm going to go ahead and link directly on tax, international tax. Okay, the two databases I want to make sure everyone understands, because I've been getting emails that I don't know where to find them. The first one is under CCH, but it's the, let's call this the first CCH versus the second. The second one is the one you're used to using. That's the normal CCH. You've been there many times. The first one is the new one that's going to have the international tax compliance materials. The second database we're going to look at is the second checkpoint, and that's here. I'm circling it now. This is the second checkpoint. It says International Tax Expert, Compliance Expert Databases. This is different than the checkpoint you're used to using here at the top of your screen under CCH. This is the normal checkpoint. I'll call that checkpoint number 1. That's the normal one. But the one that has the new databases, and I'll go into there right now, is checkpoint number 2. Down here called International Tax Experts. So this is going to be checkpoint number 2. So let's just go into checkpoint number 2 first. International Tax Expert and Compliance Expert Database. I did not copy down the username and password. Okay, do not use proxy server. So I'm going to go ahead and copy paste. Actually, open a new window. I'll log in. Type the, if I copy paste it over, it usually makes an extra space, which is going to create, yeah, but it won't work. You have to type it in there directly. 114-D. Jeff 213. And it is case sensitive. Okay, you cannot copy paste it. You must type it in directly. Okay. What we're interested in for this new database is the, I'm going to circle them. They're on the far left-hand corner. These materials. You still have access to the normal materials that under the International tab that you've seen under the regular checkpoint access. But now you have access to 2 other materials here. I prefer the students to use the normal access, and if you need the 2 planning databases, then come back to here. So let's click on international tax expert. Press my continue button. What would you like to do today? And I can calculate the total tax cost of a cross-border transaction. Or, by example, I could find transactions that will reduce withholding taxes. Find countries with various tax rate conditions. Tailor my cross-border tax search, and so on. Let's calculate the total tax cost of a cross-border transaction. I'm going to do it with 3 countries, let's say. How about my entity is going to be let's say China. Let's say I'm going to Hong Kong. Now, let's say I have a Dutch or Swiss holding company, since we just heard our Michel van Roon's presentation. So, so we'll choose Swiss Dom C, and our final place will be USA. Or we could do United Kingdom. Let's do USA. Let's say that we're paying interest and interest. I could choose, as you see, sales, service management, capital gain, and so forth. Let's say that we haven't lent China money. We'll say it's a royalty for a patent. So it's a production factory in China, and then we've loaned, but from the United States to Switzerland, we've loaned money. The payment, 100% holding, and we could make our entities be break-even loss, so forth. I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's do a little calculation here. Okay. So, I put my mouse cursor over the sum, and it reads total tax cost benefit from the transaction. This is equal to the total of the tax cost benefit for each of the entities participating in the transaction. Each entity's tax cost includes any withholding taxes deducted. And okay, now, and you can read below what the transaction is. Now, this is without using the planning aspects or so forth. This is just a straight up, no planning involved. From one, we have a Swiss company, 100 income, 100 to the United States. We got a deduction for the 2 payments, and so forth. So you can follow that. We can do calculation assumptions. And I clicked on result details. We get more information with corporate tax rates. And I've scrolled down to the bottom. And then you can export this to Excel, by example, or print it. I assume everyone can see my screen and sees what I'm talking about. Okay, this is a very rough, brief example. I'm just showing you because I had 3 emails on students couldn't find where this was. I assume you're doing this for your taxation course, maybe with the credits under Jim Laborgna with why he's being asked. But anyway, here it is, this is where it is. And I'll click on the tax rate memo. This will give you, quick information in a chart format. And, as I said, you could tailor your search. You could just find the key aspects, or you could do find transactions that will reduce withholding taxes. There's a lot of planning opportunities. Okay. I am going to close this window and click on International Compliance Expert. What would you like to do today? Find corporate tax forms. Now, the compliance expert is totally different from the international tax expert. This is not a planning utility or application. This is about your actual forms and filling in your forms, or your tax return due dates, transfer pricing, compliance information, by example. So let's just find a corporate tax form just so you can see what it means. And how about our let's take a non-English speaking country. We'll take Taiwan. Category 1, corporate. Language, English. Year, the form we're filling out this year's taxes, 2008. And any stream. I can do other forms, countries too. I don't need to. I'm going to go search. For 2008, we're not out yet. Taiwan, let's go to 2006. Okay, we'll see if the form's in Mandarin. There it is. Okay, profit-seeking enterprise income tax return. We got 2006 year out. Let's go ahead and open the form in a PDF. And this is a translation, obviously, because I can't read Mandarin. And now I have the questions. This is the actual form, just translated in English. Obviously, I cannot submit an English form in Taiwan, but this helps me from a tax manager's perspective who's managing my taxes overseas to understand both my compliance requirements and and what questions are asked. And I can contrast that, for example, for my consolidation statements. Yeah, I should have looked. There's no 2008 yet. So I can click on 2007 for Taiwan, and there I have for 2007 my instructions for claiming withholding tax reduction, i.e. via treaty or something, and again my 2007 income tax form for corporations. Denmark, I can go look at 2006, my tax form for corporations, and again I have also my claim for relief for Danish dividend tax, and again my income tax return for corporations above. Okay, that's the compliance expert. You have other options you can do, like transfer pricing information. I encourage y'all who are in those classes like transfer pricing and in international tax planning, the beginning class, you should be using these. For those of you in tax treaties, you should obviously also be using the international tax expert also. I'm going to close this window. I'm going to close the checkpoint. I've shown you what was different, new, and interesting. And now I'm going to go to the first CCH. The first CCH is going to give me its own international tax planning equivalent competitive application. I'm going to enter this on my computer. Okay. Now, under our regular CCH, this has all their international tax materials. Under this special CCH, we have the worldwide tax rates and answers, Europe, EU, and Switzerland. We also have worldwide tax rates emerging markets on the right-hand side in the column. But first we'll I'm clicking on tax rates, corporate income tax rates, and you see it's like a checklist, like a workflow checklist. I'm not going to check them all, but you can see what I'm doing. Business formation, company income tax. I can further, okay. Now, once I pick what I want, I'm just going to pick some easy stuff. How about business formation? And withholding tax. Okay, next. I gotta pick a country. So I click on next. And I'm gonna pick on 2 countries only. I'm gonna pick on Denmark again. And Netherlands. Next. Okay, so here are my answers contrasted against each other. I can scroll down and now I can also get the tax forms. I'm showing you the they have tables built in here, corresponding tax treaty, yada yada. So let's click on Denmark. We're going to open, we're going to get our Excel spreadsheet. And you see. I'm going to go ahead and close my Excel spreadsheet that's just open. Let's go ahead and click on worldwide tax rates, emerging markets. We'll go pick my, let's get tax forms and instructions so you can contrast. So this does the exact same thing that you saw with the International Tax Expert via Checkpoint IBFD. I'm just going to do tax forms and instructions, and and something crazy, VAT. Let's go to next. I'm going to choose Brazil and China. I chose Taiwan last time, so let me choose Taiwan again so you can contrast it. Brazil, because that's where I'm going for December. So here we have Brazil and Taiwan contrasted with each other. I'll scroll down. We have the VAT question since I checked VAT. Then we have filing of forms, keeping records and electronic information, language of invoices. Now, on the far right-hand column, we have the actual forms. So just like we saw with our previous International Tax Expert / Checkpoint IBFD database, I'm going to go ahead and click on the form for, let's do Taiwan first. This is the 2008 form. I'm just scrolling down so you can okay, so you should see that on the left-hand side of your screen. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to pop open the Brazilian form. I'm providing you the example. I'm just scrolling down so you can... We haven't gotten to the form yet. We're still doing explanations in the form. Now you get your form. Okay, and you're looking at your Brazilian form and all the explanations of each. Okay. I'm sure everyone can see that on their screen now, so I'm going to close that up. And, well, that's it. So, I clicked on the form under the language, and which is in the actual Portuguese, so you can see what the form looks like in its original language. That's a good thing about the CCH product, is that now I can contrast local language versus the unofficial English translation. So this is the actual Brazilian form I'm looking at. Okay, everyone gets the point. That's a pretty neat product line. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the window. Close out my CCH. Clear. Everyone understands how to access those then? Type yes or no. If you don't understand, go ahead and click in. If you do understand, click Y in your chat box. Does everyone understand how to access those databases now? Yeah, I see why. Yep. Oh, and there's Wendy. Wendy, does your microphone work now? Okay. Wendy, you're going to have to call. It doesn't work. You're going to have to call Mega Meeting and let them go to your machine. They have a toll-free number on their website. You press #1 for tech support. We don't have to do it today, but you have to call Mega Meeting so that it can sort out your microphone. They'll just take your machine over and fix it, or whatever. They'll tell you what to do. Okay, it's 12 o'clock anyway. So okay. So again, I have Michelle's thing recorded. Good. I also have the PowerPoints. They're good from both y'all. Thank you. I have your PowerPoints here. Wendy, this is yours, right? Yeah. Okay. So I have your PowerPoints. I've gone through these already. So let's do this. We will. Y'all tell me when you want to do classes. It's easier for me Tuesday and Thursdays. Friday mornings, I always have the phone calls from 9 till noon, or 8 till noon. I prefer you to organize them on Tuesday, Thursdays. We have Marshall Langer lecturing next Tuesday on how it's a tax treaties lecture, but it applies to a lot of different subjects in the program. But it's how revenue authorities practically, how they share information with each other. And he's been talking a lot to the service and other revenue authorities. So he's giving an updated lecture on just how information exchange actually works, what they're looking for, what they do with the information, how the information, like when they do it spontaneously, how they even exchange it when they don't even speak the same language, and how that system works, multilateral, bilaterally, and so forth. I hope that everyone comes on Tuesday to Marshall Langer's lecture. Next Thursday it's Thanksgiving, so we won't have our lecture then. The following Tuesday will be Marshall Langer. The following Thursday will be Dennis Kleinfeld. Then the following last lecture will be Marshall Langer and Dennis Kleinfeld on Thursday again. So check your calendars. Those are their topics and so forth are up there. And by December 10th, I think we'll have finished up all the lectures for the classes. Okay. Richard West's lecture is on, he's doing his final lecture of his 4-part series on investment fund regulation. So he did hedge fund last week and this week, and then he's going to finish hedge funds Tuesday. And he covered taxation of hedge funds, he covered structuring of hedge funds, and he covered the financial formulas or strategies used by certain hedge funds. So he's going to finish hedge funds this Tuesday, and then finish the lecture out with the new FINRA regs and other regs that are being talked about in Congress, and tell you where they're likely going. Okay, I see Ray has to run. Okay, I'm going to... does anyone have any questions? Go ahead and ask them in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll stop recording and free up the class.